Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I pay homage to my teacher, Loku Swami Hansi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. In this present world, many people seeing this modern technology and looking at large buildings, looking at highways, looking at a lot of vehicles, many people, they think now the world is very prosperous, and they come to this conclusion by looking at the facilities, isn't it? Yes. But they forget one fact. When they come to this conclusion, they forget about the development of human qualities. When we read these suttas, when we listen to the stories and the lives of the Arahants, we can understand the prosperous world, the developed world was 2500 years ago. There was that world. Why is that? Today, the human qualities are very less among humans. Though we say the people, they have a lot of facilities, but using this modern technology and those facilities, they produce nuclear bombs, weapons. They forget the human qualities and the rarity of this human life. They couldn't think about it. But Supreme Buddha understood about the real development. Supreme Buddha teaches this biological development or this wealth, these things are considered as a development, but etadaggam bhikkhave buddhina yadidam panyavadi. There is a development. That development is the most valuable. development. It is the development of the wisdom. But today, that wisdom cannot be seen in this world among the majority of people. So they think, looking at this biological development, they wish more prosperous world, or they wish prosperous future. They are looking for such a future. But Supreme Buddha teaches different situation about our future. Today we are going to learn that story or real situation about our realistic future. When you listen to this sutta, you will be able to understand the theories, the difference of the theories and the attitudes, plans of ordinary people and the anavaki forecasting of an enlightened one, the difference of these two things. Cakkavattisutta. Once the Supreme Buddha, our great teacher, was staying at Magadha province in the village named Matula. There, the Blessed One addressed the monks in this way: Atta Deepa Bhikkave Viharata. Meritorious monks, be an island to yourself. Make an island for the protection, for your protection. Atta Sarana, be a refuge to you. Ananya Sarana, you have no any other refuge. Dhamma Deepa, you must build that island by Dhamma. Dhamma Sarana, you must seek for your refuge through Dhamma. Ananya Sarana, you have no any other refuge. Meritorious monks, how to build this island? By Dhamma. How to make this refuge? How to live without thinking about any other refuge? How to be islands yourselves, to yourselves. Ida bhikkave bhikkhu kāye kāyanupassī viharati. Now Supreme Buddha explains the way to be islands to yourself. How to build that island? Now island means, now one is in a danger, in the middle of a sea, ocean. Now what is the protection to him? Yes? To go to an island. So this is the way. Now we are in the ocean of samsara. And this is the way to escape from this samsara ocean. How to build that island? You should live contemplating the body as body. Kaye kayanupassi. Atapi. Now, kaya kayanupassi means you must establish your mindfulness to understand the reality of this body. When you develop your mindfulness, atapi, you must do it with, atapi means fighting against the habits. Can you understand? Now our habit is to enjoy with this body. So, when we try to understand the real nature of this body by establishing the mindfulness, then we have to fight against those habits. Because Supreme Buddha teaches the danger side, to see the dangerous side of the body. So our mind is not, my mind doesn't like to it. So we have to make an effort. It's called atapi. And we have a habit to sleep. So when we practice the mindfulness, we have to fight against that sleepiness. It is called atapi. Sampajana, with awareness. Satima, paying the mindfulness. Vineya loke abhijja domanassa. Supreme Buddha teaches, you must practice this mindfulness, abandoning two things. Abandoning the greed towards the life and the grief, displeasure about the life. Abandoning these two things, you must develop the mindfulness. Like that. Vedanasu vedananupassi. How to be islands to yourself. You must live contemplating the feelings as feelings. Paying attention to understand the changing nature of feelings. Chitte chittanupassi. You must live contemplating the mind as mind, identifying the differences of mind. Dhammesu dhammanupassi. You must live contemplating the mind objects as mind objects. About faculties and 5 aggregates of clinging, 4 noble truths and noble eightfold path, and the 7 enlightenment factors. You must develop your mindfulness regarding these things. Again, you should develop this mindfulness with that 3 factors, atapi, sampajano, satima. Making the effort to fight against the habits with awareness and with mindfulness. This is the way, meritorious monks, to be islands to yourself and to find the refuge without finding any other external refuge. Now very important thing. Gochare bhikkhave charata sake pettike vise. Meritorious monks, you must think to live inside the inheritance of your which was given by your father to you. You must live where inside you have an inheritance. Can you understand? You must live inside that inheritance without going out from that inheritance. Who gave that inheritance? By your father. Your father gave that inheritance. Who is our father? Supreme Buddha. Supreme Buddha has given a land to us. It is our inheritance. What is that land? This Cattaro Satipatthana, 4 foundations of mindfulness. Can you understand? So what is the meaning of it? That you live inside that land. You live contemplating the body as body, the feelings as feelings, the mind as mind, and the mind objects as mind objects. Gochare bhikkhave charatam sake pettike vise. Meritorious monks. If you live inside that land, inside that inheritance which was given by your father, nalachati maro otara. If you live like that, Mara will not, the evil one, will not find a weak point of yours. Nalachati maro aramana. Mara will not find a weak point to capture you. Now who says like this? Supreme Buddha teaches us. Monks, by developing wholesome qualities, this merit increases. So, if we go outside from this inheritance, what is the meaning of that? Danger. What is that danger? If we do not pay our mindfulness regarding the 4 foundations of mindfulness, then Mara can capture us. At that time, we have to live without a refuge, without the protection of an island. That is the meaning. Now Supreme Buddha explains. Once, meritorious monks, there was a wheel-turning monarch. Now what is the name of today's sutta? Cakkavattisutta. Cakkavatti means wheel-turning monarch. The special king. There was a wheel-turning monarch long ago named Dalhaneni. Dhammiko Raja, and he ruled the whole earth by Dhamma. And he was possessed of 7 treasures. First one is Cakkaratana. He had an wheel treasure. Wheel treasure. Wheel treasure means it's a divine gem, and it appears because of this king's merit. And he is the most meritorious person, man on the world by that time. Then the second treasure is elephant treasure with psychic powers. Then the horse treasure, again with psychic powers. The jewel treasure. Jewel treasure means, again it's a jewel with a bright light. Then he had the most beautiful woman on the earth. It is woman treasure. There was a advisor to him, advising all the ways of ruling the countries. And the seventh one is a counselor with more than 1,000 sons. So he conquered this whole earth without stick or sword, without fighting, without a war, by the law of Dhamma, giving the protection to all humans and all beasts, all birds. Then Supreme Buddha teaches, and after many hundreds and thousands of years, King Dalhaneni, now what is the name of that king? Dalhaneni, this king said to a servant, to his barber, you know barber? My good man, come here. Whenever you see that, we talked about that wheel treasure. Now it appears in that palace of that king, in the top flat. Now it on a table. Now it is there. Then this king said to that barber, to a servant, man, whenever you see that the sacred wheel treasure has slipped from its position, has slipped from its position, report it to me. Then he said yes. One day, after many hundreds and thousands of years, now this time period is long lifespan, with long lifespan. After many hundreds and thousands of years, that man saw that the sacred wheel treasure had slipped from its position. Then he reported this to king. Who is that king? King Dalhaneni. Then King Dalhaneni called his eldest son. And said to his eldest son, my son, the sacred wheel treasure has slipped from its position, and I have heard say that when this happens to a wheel turning monarch, the meaning of it is now he has not much longer to live. So now I enjoyed with human sensual pleasures. Now it is the time to seek for the heavenly pleasures. So now, son, you must take all control of this land. Now, I will shave off my hand, beard, wearing robes, and go forth from the household life into homelessness. Now he is going to be a monk, a recluse. Then he, now who is the king? His eldest son. Saying this, he went forth from the household life into homelessness. And he went into a forest. Now, he meditates. And 7 days after this king had gone forth, that sacred wheel treasurer vanished from that house, from that palace. Then another man came to that eldest son, now he is the king, and said, "Sir, now you should know that the sacred wheel treasurer has disappeared and vanished." When he heard this, he was very unhappy and braved and felt sad. Then he went to meet his father. Now where is father? In the forest. Now he is a recluse. Now abandon all the sensual pleasures. Now he is a recluse. And meeting him, he reported this situation. Then this father, now he is known as royal sage. You know, sage means Rajishi, Irsi, sage, Irsi. Then this king said to his son, "Son, you should not grieve or feel sad at the disappearance of this wheel treasure. The wheel treasure is not an inheritance from your father, but if you live practicing the Arya Cakkavattisutta, when you practice the noble, the rules of an wheel-turning monarch, then again that wheel treasure will appear. Then he asked, "Father, what are those noble, the rules of a wheel-turning monarch?" Then this father advises, "Okay, so son, tena hitwantata dhammang eva nissaya." So now, associating dhammang sakkaranto, depending on Dhamma, honoring Dhamma, dhammang garukaranto, revering Dhamma, dhammang manento, dhammang pujento, dhammang apachayamano, paying homage to Dhamma, having the Dhamma as your flag Dhamma Dhajo, you must establish guard, protection according to Dhamma for your own household and other people on the earth, and to all beasts and birds, and for all animals. Further, he advises, let no crime prevail in your kingdom. Another important thing. If there are poor persons, then you must give money to them. Another advice. In your this area, there are monks and recluses developing their virtue, concentration and their good human qualities, restraining faculties. So from time to time you must go to meet them and you must take advices from them. King Bhante Kusala. Bhante, what is wholesome? King Akusala. You must ask, yes, what is unwholesome? King Savajjam. What is blameworthy? King Anavajjam. What is blameless? King Sevitabba, Bhante, what should be followed? King Nasevitabba, what shouldn't be followed? And what are the good things to be practiced for my welfare and happiness? When they teach you, you must practice those wholesome things. This is the noble, the practices of the wheel turning, to become a wheel turning monarch. Evan Devadi, agreeing to this, all these advices. Now this eldest son, this king, departed. By practicing these noble practices to become a wheel-turning monarch, one day, on a full moon power day, having washed his head and gone up to the veranda of the top of his palace, and he was sitting there, recollecting about his blameless life, about the good qualities. Then what happens? That sacred wheel treasurer appeared to him. Then the king thought, I have heard that when such a king sees such a wheel on the full moon power day like this, he will become a wheel-turning monarch. Now what is the meaning of the king of wheel-turning monarch? He rules the whole earth without weapons and swords, by honoring to Dhamma, by advising to others in a peaceful manner. Then he thought, may I become such a monarch? Now, in this world, though today we don't learn as other subjects. In this world, there is a subject about this wheel-turning monarch. The way to become a wheel-turning monarch, the way to identify a wheel-turning monarch. Can you understand? But today, this time period is different. So they know the way to follow. Then this king, rising from his seat, and he took a gold vessel and in his left hand and sprinkled that wheel treasurer with his right hand and said, Pavattatu bhavam Cakkavattisutta. May the noble wheel treasurer turn. Abhivijinatu bhavam Cakkavattisutta. May the wheel treasurer conquer. When he said this, this wheel turned to the east direction. So the king followed it with fourfold army. Then this turns, and the king follows it with the army. And when this wheel stops in one country, then king stopped there. Then this news, now what is the news? A wheel-turning monarch has appeared in the world. So this news spread throughout the countries. So the kings of those countries, they come to meet this wheel-turning monarch and they say, Your Majesty, rule us. Please advise us. Now can you understand the difference of that period and today? This is the difference. Now today is totally this world is how to call period, no? Not development, but yes, maybe, yes? Destruction? Regression. Yes. Not, there is not the background or environment for a wheel-turning monarch or even for the appearance of a Buddha. That is the meaning. Okay? Today, this, in the present environment, is for a war in this world. Can you understand the difference? So then, king advises to those kings, those provincial kings. This is the advice. Pano nahantabbo. So you should not kill beings. Adinnam nadatabba. Don't steal. Kamesu michcha charitabba. Don't engage in sexual misconduct. Musana bhasitabba. Don't say lies. Now can you understand the advice? Majjam na patabba. Don't drink alcohol. Then live peacefully and without weapons now. Without any other warnings. By honoring to Dhamma. In this way, when this wheel turns to all countries, then all kings, they come to meet this wheel-turning monarch, and this wheel-turning monarch advises like that. Okay? Then, after going throughout the whole earth, this wheel treasurer returned to the royal capital and he stopped before the king's palace. Like that, then Supreme Buddha teaches, like that, a second wheel-turning monarch did likewise. And a third wheel-turning monarch appeared. A fourth wheel-turning monarch appeared. A fifth wheel-turning monarch appeared. And a a sixth and a seventh king. Now how many kings? 7 kings appeared. Like that, the other all kings, the 7th king called to a person and said him, one day, if you see this wheel treasurer has slipped from its position, then report it to me. Then like that, like the earlier situation, this person, after many years, many hundreds of thousands of years, he saw that this wheel treasurer had slipped from its position. Then he called his eldest son again and said, now it is the time to abandon all the human sensual pleasures. Now it is the time to seek for divine sensual pleasures. So now I must abandon all these things. So now you must rule the earth. Advising like this to the eldest son, king went to the forest. Then after 7 days, this king had gone forth. This wheel treasurer vanished, disappeared. Again a person came and reported this to the eldest son. Now in the earlier situation, what happens after this reporting? He went to meet his father. But this son, this king, didn't go to meet his father and to ask about this. And he ruled according to his own ideas. And being so ruled, people did not prosper so well as they had done under the previous kings who had performed the duties of a wheel-turning monarch. Now how does he rule? According to his own visions. Then the ministers, counselors and other officials, they accompanied and they got together and they came to meet this king and said, Sir, as long as you rule the people according to your own ideas, now the people do not prosper so well. So, king, please ask us about the noble practices of a noble wheel-turning monarch. We will advise you. Then king ordered all the ministers and other officials to come together and they explained him the duties of a wheel-turning monarch. And what is their advice? Honoring to Dhamma, venerating to Dhamma, paying homage to Dhamma, protect all humans and all beings, all animals, and make all the facilities to live in peace. Then, if there are persons, then give money to them. Then this king established guard and protection to all humans and all animals and all beings. But Nojako adhananam dhanamanupadasi. He didn't give money to poor persons. He didn't give money. Now what is the wrong here? He didn't give money to poor people. Because of this, what happened? As a result of not giving money to poor people, poverty increased. Keep in mind these things, okay, from the beginning. With the spread of poverty, now what did increase? Poverty increased. With the spread of poverty, now by this time, only the wholesome qualities were there throughout on this earth. No stealing, no killing, no sexual misconduct, no lying at all. That is why their lifespan is very high, very long. But now, with the spread of poverty, Puriso paresang adinnang teya sankhatang adi. What happened? Yes, a person took what was not given because of his poverty. It is called theft, stealing. Now, the people, they arrested him and brought him before the king, saying, King, this man took what was not given. So now, what can we do to this man? Then king asked, Sachang kiratwang ambho purisa paresang adinnan teya sankatang adi. Is it true that you took what was not given, man? Then he said, Sacham deva. Yes, king. Yes, majesty. Then he asked, King Karan, why did you steal? Nahi deva jivam. Oh, king, I haven't enough money to live. Then king gave some money to him and said, okay, with this money, you can keep yourself well and support your mother and father, keep a wife and children, carry on a business and make gift to, make offerings to monks and ascetics. Live happily. Saying this, the king gave some money to that person. Then he was very happy and went. Again, another day, another person took what was not given. Then again, he was accompanied before the king, and then again king asked, okay, is it true that you took what was not given? Then he said, yes. Why did you do like this? Then he said, I hadn't enough money to live. Okay, so here there is some money, and there is enough money for your welfare, and treat all the family members and do collect merit and do offerings to recluses. And this is money. Then he taking money, then he was very happy. Then people heard that the king was giving away king gives money to those who took what was not given. And they thought, suppose we were to do likewise. Thinking this, then another man took what was not given. Now think about this. This is a realistic story which happened many thousands of years ago. Only the Supreme Buddha knows about all these things. And then the other people, they brought him before the king. Then the king asked him why he had done this. And he replied, Your Majesty, I haven't enough money to live. Then the king thought, oh, this is not a good thing. If I give money to everybody who takes what is not given, this theft will increase more and more. There is one thing to do. I had better make an end of him. Finish him off once for all and cut his head off. Now what is coming? Killing. Killing is coming. So this king commanded his men, okay, come here, bind this man's arms tightly behind him with a strong rope, shave his head closely and lead him to the rough sound of a drum through the streets, the squares and out through the southern gate of the province, and they are finished by inflicting the capital penalty and cutting off his head. So those people did so. Now people heard this danger, this situation. They thought, and the people and the robbers, they heard this situation. Then they thought, oh, now king has begun to kill robbers. So then they thought, okay, let's get sharp swords made for us, and then we can take from anybody what is not given. Then we too kill others. Then people, they make weapons and swords, and now the robbers, they go to villages and they kill many number of persons, and they steal, went in for highway robbery, killing their victims by cutting off their heads. Now this happened. Then Supreme Buddha teaches, in this way, meritorious monks, Itiko bhikkhave adhananam dhane anupadiyamani. In this way, monks, because of not giving money to poor people, daliddayam vepulla magamasi. Poverty increased. Daliddaya vepullam gate adinnādanam vepulla magamasi. Because of increasing the poverty, then what happens? Stealing increased. Then, yes, adinna, no. And then the stealing and taking the weapons. Then, pānātipato vepulla magamasi. Killing, yes, increased, started and increased. Pānātipāte vepullam gate. Then Supreme Buddha explains, because of increasing the killing, tesang sattanam ayupi parihāya. Because of this killing, these people's lifespan those people's lifespan decreased. Vannenapi parihayama, their beauty decreased. And as a result of decrease of lifespan and beauty, the children of those whose lifespan had been 80,000 years. Now the lifespan of these people is 80,000 years. Now their children's lifespan decreased for only 40,000. From 80,000 to 40,000. Half. Now, what is the reason for this decreasing of lifespan? Increasing the unwholesome things. Now, this is the history. But today, people believe, because of this modern technology and the experiments of scientists, they think, oh, in the future, lifespan will increase. Will it happen? Never. Now this is the forecasting of our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. Now, after this story of history, then Supreme Buddha explains, and a man of the generation that lived for 40,000 years again took what was not given. Then he was brought before the king. Then the king asked him, is it true that you took what was not given? Then he said, no, Deva. Is it? No. What is this? Then he told a deliberate lie, Sampajanusa. Thus, from the not giving of money to the poor people, in this way, poverty increased. With the increasing of poverty, stealing increased. With the stealing, then the using of weapons increased. Then with the increasing of using weapons, killing increased. Then lying increased. Again their lifespan decreased and beauty decreased. Now, what was their lifespan? 40,000 years they lived. Now their children lived for only 20,000 years. Now lifespan decreased. Again, from this generation, again another person stole something. Okay? Looking at this, another person went to meet the king and said, King, do you know that person? Yes, he stole, and please advise him and punish him. What is this? Malicious speech. Now, dividing speech increased. Then Supreme explains. Now, what are the wholesome things up to this point? Unwholesome things. Now, poverty is there. Stealing, using weapons, killing, lying, malicious speech. Yes. Then Supreme explains, and of the generation that lived Now their lifespan decreased for 10,000 years. In this generation, Supreme Buddha explains, some were beautiful and some were ugly. And those who were ugly, being envious of those who were beautiful, they committed adultery with others' wives. What is this? Sexual misconduct. Now, for the first time, sexual misconduct like this. And Supreme Buddha explains in this way. Again, many unwholesome things increased. Their lifespan decreased. Now their lifespan is 5,000. Among this generation, Supreme Buddha explains two things increased. What are the two things? Harsh speech and gossip. Harsh speech and gossip. Again their lifespan decreased, their beauty decreased, and as a result the children of those whose lifespan had been 5,000 years lived some for 2,500 years and some for only 2,000. Among this generation, another two unwholesome things increased. Abhijja, Vyapada. Abhijja means, no, not avijja, abhijja, covetousness, greed increased, and then vyapada means hatred increased. And again their lifespan decreased, their beauty decreased, and as a result their lifespan decreased for 1,000. Now what is the lifespan? 1,000. Among the generation whose lifespan was 1,000 years, Micchaditti means wrong view increased. Now their lifespan decreased from 1,000 years to 500 years. Among this generation, 3 unwholesome things increased. Supreme Buddha explains 3 unwholesome things increased. First one is, now this is the story of the period with the lifespan of 500. No, not too far away. Yes. What are those 3 unwholesome things? Adham rago, visama lobho, miccha dhammo. Adham rago means passion, but that passion is without limits. It is called adham rago. Visama lobo is called excessive greed, not simple greed. Then miccha dhammo means many wrong views and practices. These things increased. Again their lifespan decreased from 500 years to 250 years. In that time period, these things increased. Lack of respect for mother and father. Now this is the situation. In the time period of lifespan, 250. And they didn't respect to their mothers and fathers. They didn't respect for monks and Brahmins, ascetics, and for the leaders of the society, leaders of the families. They didn't respect. This unwholesome thing increased. Then Supreme Buddha explains, in this way, meritorious monks, from the not giving money for poor people, poverty increased. With the increasing of poverty, stealing increased. Then can you say? With the increasing of poverty, stealing increased. With the increasing of stealing, using of weapons increased. Then killing increased. Yes, lying increased. Malicious speech increased. Then sexual before that, gossip. Malicious speech increased after the lying. Then sexual misconduct increased. Then harsh speech increased. Then gossip increased. Then covetousness increased. Next, anger increased. Michaviti, wrong views increased. Adhamma rago, limitless passion. Excessive greed and wrong ideas, practices increased. Then lack of respect for mothers and fathers increased. What is the situation today? All these unwholesome things can be seen. This is the way this world came to this situation. Now today, among these humans, we can see killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, malicious speech, gossip, and limitless emotions, the passion, greed, hatred, and they do not care about their mothers and fathers, they do not respect all these things. And Supreme Buddha explains how this world came to today's present situation. Now Supreme Buddha explains about our dangerous future, but the realistic future. Bhavishyati bhikkhaveso samayo yang imesang manussanam dasavassayika putta bhavisyanti. Monks, a time will come when the children of these people... Now, before that, Supreme Buddha explains, now because of increasing all these unwholesome things, up to the lack of respecting the mothers and fathers and parents and recluses, the lifespan, what was their lifespan before? 250. Their lifespan decreased from 250 to years. No. For only, now their lifespan, they lived for only 100 years. Only 100 years. Now when Supreme Buddha appeared on this world, in this world their lifespan was 100 years. Now Supreme Buddha explains, a time will come when the children of these people will have a lifespan of 10 years. Can scientists find this? No. They think lifespan will increase in the future. This is the forecasting of an enlightenment, not an ordinary person. Then this is very important. Now this is our future. This is our tomorrow. Supreme Buddha explains, and meritorious monk, with them, with these people, with the lifespan of 10 years, now today we can say, we can see lot of unwholesome things, and they are fighting each other, and they are trying to satisfy, and they are trying to fulfill their emotions without thinking others. They are trying to enjoy in many ways, and very rarely one will listen to the Four Noble Truths, and majority, they have forgotten about Four Noble Truths, and they don't know even the name of Four Noble Truths, and they haven't a target to escape from this samsara. They don't know about a thing called samsara. They don't know about Nibbana. They don't know about a Buddha. This is the present situation, and it is very rare of the opportunity to listen to the real Dhamma. They don't know about Noble Eightfold Path as the path leading to the cessation of suffering, and majority, they are running behind the sensual pleasures. They are struggling with them. So Supreme Buddha explains, now when the lifespan decreases for 10 years, and with them Panchavasika Kumarika Alampetteya Bhavissanti. The girls among these people with 10 years, girls will be marriageable at 5 years old. 5 years old. So they have to live, they will have to live only for 10 years, so they will have to marry? Yes. Then Supreme Buddha explains, and with them, these flavors will disappear. Sappi navanitam, telam, madhupanitam, lonam. Now, today we can identify these differences. Supreme Buddha explains, these flavors will disappear. Ghee, butter, sesame oil, molasses, and salt. These flavors will disappear from the world. Now, can't we identify this disappearing today? Little by little? If you know the taste of the fruits the earlier, then you can identify the taste of fruits today, like water, isn't it? And then the chili and the salt, then not the taste is totally different today. Now the world is arranging to this disappearing. Then Supreme Buddha explains, among them, in the coming future, how to call those things, grain means with dried leaves, the very poor foods will be the chief food among these people. And just as rice and curry are today, rice and curry disappeared from the world, and their chief food will be the leaves of the grains. Today can't we identify this changing? People think as the chief food, you know those foods. Okay. This is the arranging for that future. Then Supreme Lord explains, and with them the 10 unwholesome things will completely 10 wholesome things will completely disappear from the world. They don't know even the name of those wholesome things. And the 10 unwholesome, the bad things will prevail exceedingly. Can't we identify this arranging today? We can identify. Then Supreme Lord explains. Think about this. Dasavassāyikesu bhikkave manusesu kusalanti pina bhavisanti. Monks, for those of a 10-year lifespan, there will be no word for virtue or moral. Even the word of wholesome will disappear and vanish from the world. Then Supreme Lord asks, Kuto panakusalasa karako? If it is so, how can there be anyone who acts in a moral way? This is our dangerous future. Then Supreme Lord explains, those people who have no respect for mother or father, for ascetics and Brahmins, will be the ones who enjoy honor and prestige. What's the meaning here? In the future, if children do not respect to their mothers and fathers, others will appreciate those children. Oh, this is the way. This is the way you must do. Supreme Lord explains, just as it is now the people who show respect for mother and father, who are praised and who are appreciated and honored, so it will be with those who do the opposite. Today we respect and appreciate, we honor. If someone respect to mothers and fathers, like that in the future, maybe the opposite. If children respect to the parents, the society will laugh. Are you mad? This is the developing world. This is the modern world. This is the modern culture. And this is the independent. Can't you identify these changes today? We can identify. Then another very dangerous situation. If they do not respect to their parents, Supreme Lord explains, among those of a 10-year lifespan, no account will be taken of mother or aunt, of mother's sister-in-law, or teacher's wife, or of one's father's wife, and so on. They do not care. All will be, Supreme Lord explains, all will be promiscuous. Yes, they do not think, oh, this is my mother, I must respect. This is my teacher's wife, I must respect. They do not think like that. Supreme Lord explains, they live like goats and sheep, fowl and pigs, dogs and jackals. They live like that, without limits. Can you understand? If you watch television, you can understand these situations even today. And we came to know about one situation. A person told us in America, I cannot remember. A father lives with his daughter, Austria, thinking as his wife. This that daughter has given birth for how many children? Yes. Now cannot we understand the excellent and extraordinary knowledge of Supreme Buddha? Supreme Buddha taught this thing to the world out of compassion for humans and devas 2500 years ago. Now that present is today. That situation has appeared. The Supreme Buddha explains all the limitations will be vanished. Among them, the thoughts of anger will increase, thoughts of killing will increase, the thoughts of killing, anger, mother against child, and child against mother, father against child, and child against father, brother against brother, brother against sister. Supreme Buddha explains this is like this. Just as tibbang vadaka cittam. Vadaka cittam means a thought to kill without thinking, oh, this is my mother, this is my father, like that. If they think like that, what will happen? Children will kill their parents. This is the future. Then what happens? Anantarika. Papakama. Because of killing their parents, they will reborn in hell for many eons. So if someone is expecting to be born in human world tomorrow, in this future, is it a good idea? No, very dangerous. Then Supreme Buddha explains their anger and thoughts of killing is like this. Just as the hunter feels anger for a deer. When a deer hunter sees a deer, what is his thought? Oh, I must take him and I must give food. Is that a thought? No, let me kill this deer. Like that, Supreme Buddha explains, in the future, among these humans, this perception. What is the perception? Just as the hunter feels anger towards a deer, these people, they will fight each other, they will kill each other, taking weapons and sword. Then Supreme Buddha explains this modern technology developed to this dangerous situation. What is that dangerous situation? When they think, let me kill him or her, at once the weapons appear in his hand. This modern technology come to that level. Can you understand? When they think to kill someone, weapons appear in their hands. Like now today, if we want to call someone in a faraway country, we have only to press numbers, few numbers, then we can call. Like that. This modern technology come to that position. Then Supreme Buddha explains, saying, es amigo, when they meet people, they saying, oh, this is another deer, thinking this, anyamanyam jivita oro pesanti. Like bees, they fight and they kill each other when they die. Is there a fortunate future in this human world? No. This Supreme Buddha explains. And for those of a 10-year lifespan, there will come a time period. It's called Sattantarakappo Bhavisati. There will be 7 days. In that 7 days, all humans on this earth there will be only a war. For those 7 days, taking weapons, they will kill each other. During which they will mistake one another for wild beasts, like thinking like animals. Sharp swords will appear in their hands and thinking there is a deer, there is a deer. They will take each other's lives with those swords. This is our future. That is why we must plan this life, not to come again to human world by developing this noble path, by establishing the factors of a Sotapanna. We must plan, we must think to be born among Devas, and there we will be able to fulfill this Noble Eightfold Path, because now Dhamma is alive there than the human world. So our future is not a good one. So there is no any other protection or refuge to this life. We must plan well this life, otherwise the future will be very dangerous. Supreme Buddha explains, but there will be now after this in this fighting, there will be some beings who will think Macha Mayang Kanchi, let us no kill March Ammi Koji or be killed by anyone. Let us not kill. Let's make for some grassy thickets or jungles and forests. To what? To escape and to hide. Then Supreme Buddha explains, they will live on roots and fruits of the forest, and this they will do for 7 days. For these 7 days. Then at the end of the 7 days, they will come out from those thick forests, and now there will be very few people. They now escape, and they come out from the hiding places, and seeing them rejoice together of one accord, saying, good beings, I see that you are alive. I see that you are alive. Then now, after this point, only after this point they think, what happened to us? Until this point comes, they do not think about it. They do not think about human qualities. They do not think about the importance of human life. Then they think, what happened to us? It is only because we became addicted to evil ways that we suffered this loss of our kindred. Now, so let us now do good. Let us do good. Now after how many years? Can we say? No. Now Supreme Buddha's time periods, lifespan was 100. And now after 2500 years, lifespan is 70 and 80. 20 years. For 2500 years. So can we guess that how many years for this situation? No. For this peaceful situation? No, we cannot say. Then Supreme Buddha explains, then they think, what good things can we do now? Now, what are things on the earth? Only the unwholesome things. Even the word of wholesome is not on the earth. And they think, now let's abstain from killing. That will be a good practice. Then they abstain from killing. That is the point, that they abstain from killing. And so they will abstain from killing because of this wholesome practicing. Supreme Buddha explains. Now what is their lifespan? 10 years. Then Supreme Buddha explains their children's lifespan will be 20 years. Then they will live for 20 years. Again they think, oh, now because of our practicing of good things, our lifespan increased. Now, what else can we practice? Then they think, let's abstain from stealing. When they abstain from stealing, again their lifespan increased up to 40 years. Again they thought, what else can we practice? The good things. Then they abstain. Supreme Buddha explained, they will abstain from sexual misconduct. Again their lifespan will increase up to 80. Again they think, we can abstain from lying. Then they abstain from lying. Their lifespan will increase up to 160. Their children's lifespan, okay? Then again they think and abstain from malicious speech. Their lifespan will increase up to how many years? 320. Then Supreme Buddha explains, again they think to abstain from harsh speech. Their lifespan will increase up to 600 their children to be 640. They think to abstain from gossip. The children of those whose lifespan is 640 years will live for 2000 years. 2000 years. Then Supreme Buddha explains, they will abstain from covetousness. So the lifespan will increase up to how many years? 4000 years. Again they abstain from ill will or anger and from wrong views. Their lifespan increase up to 8000. Again they think to, okay, now what else can we practice? Then they think to abstain from other unwholesome things. Adhamma rago, visama lobo, miccha dhammo. They abstain from those things. Their children will live for how many years? No? Now, what is their lifespan? 8000. 20,000 years their children will live. Then Supreme Buddha explains, further they practice good things, wholesome things. Their children will live for 40,000 years. Don't you like to live so long? Then Supreme Buddha explains, at that time, children will think to respect to their parents. And their children will attain to 80,000 years. Can we imagine the time period? The length of time period to come to this position? The years? We cannot say. Supreme Buddha explains, now among the people with an 80,000 year lifespans, girls will become marriageable at 500. This is the excellent knowledge of Supreme Buddha. And such people will know, think about this, and such people will know only Okay, this sutta is from long length discourses. Okay, so I'll try to explain you. Yes. But anyway, this is very important to know. And Supreme Buddha explains, only for within these people, they will know only 3 kinds of disease. Only 3 kinds. Now how many kinds of disease for us? We cannot. So much. What are these 3? Tayo avada bhayasanti. Icha anasanam jara. The first one is greed. Then the fasting. Fasting means lack of hunger. Okay? And then old age. Though you live for such long time period, you will have to face for aging. These are the 3 diseases. And Supreme Buddha explains. And in the time of those people, this continent of Jambudipa, on this earth, especially around the continent of India, this Jambudipa will be powerful and prosperous, and villages, towns and cities, many houses. Supreme Buddha explains, a cock will be able to go from the roof of the houses without coming down. So much houses. This Jambudipa, Supreme Buddha explains, Ayan Jambudipo avici manye puto bhavisati manusye. This human world will be like avici. Avici means hell. Avici mahanaraka. Hell, like hell. What is the meaning here? Supreme Buddha explains, will be as thick with people as the jungle is thick with reeds and rushes. Like the bush of bamboo trees, like that, this will be as thick with people. Can you understand? Okay. Yes, such a big population. That's why Supreme Buddha wanted to explain. Then Supreme Buddha explains, at the time the Varanasi of today Varanasi in India, will be a royal city called Ketumati. Powerful and prosperous, crowded with people and well supplied. In Jambudipa there will be 84,000 cities headed by Ketumati as the royal capital. Think about this infinite, the knowledge of Supreme Buddha. And in the time of the people with an 80,000 year lifespan, Supreme Buddha explained, there will arise in the capital city of Ketumati a king will arise called Sankha, a wheel turning monarch. Okay? Again he will rule this earth with Dhamma. Supreme Buddha explains, in that time period, Metteyo nama bhagava loke upajjisati. Arahang samma sambuddho Vijjācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisadhamma sarathi satta deva manusana buddho bhagava. When in the time of the people with an 80,000 year lifespan, there will arise in the world a blessed Supreme Buddha and Arahant, fully enlightened Buddha named Metteyya. This is the only sutta that Supreme Buddha taught about this, the appearance of Maitri Buddha. And Supreme Buddha explains with the same qualities that I have, Supreme Buddha then explains this Supreme Buddha, this Metteyya Buddha, he will thoroughly know by his own supreme knowledge and proclaim the Four Noble Truths into this world, just as I do now. So the Metteyya Buddha understands the same Four Noble Truths. The Supreme Buddha will understand. He will teach the Dhamma, Four Noble Truths. Supreme Buddha explains Adi Kalyana, Majje Kalyana, Parivasana Kalyana, excellent in the beginning, excellent in the middle, excellent in the end, and these Four Noble Truths. Supreme Buddha explains, just as I do now. Now today we have these Four Noble Truths. If we are expecting to meet the Metteyya Buddha, what is the meaning of it? We say, okay, I don't want this Four Noble Truths. Then abandoning this fortunate, today we have what we have, we wish for a unrealistic future. Why? Like that, if you give up this refuge today, this Supreme Buddha and this Noble Dhamma and the Noble Sangha, then you will have to go in this samsara as a noble disciple or as an ordinary person. As an ordinary person. When you go like that in this samsara, if you come one in this near future to this human life, human world, if you were to kill your mother or father, okay, this explanation, you will have to be born in hell. Then by that time, Maitri Buddha will appear and attain Parinibbana and will go on. Then still you will have to be in hell. This is the realistic situation. That is why our teacher Logu Swamin Wahanse, now especially in last many years in Sri Lanka and maybe throughout the world, they have given up the Gautama Supreme Buddha's dispensation. Isn't it? And they were expecting to meet the Maitri Buddha. And they have given up. So they were ready to go in this samsara like as ordinary beings. So Logu Swamin Wahanse had a compassion about this dangerous situation because Logu Swamin Wahanse had read these suttas. People didn't know about these things. Then Logu Swamin Wahanse expounded this real Dhamma out of the compassion for humans and devas. Now they are trying to understand this and they are following and they think still we have the Gautama Supreme Buddha's dispensation. Then Supreme Buddha explains meritorious monks. This Metteyya Buddha will teach this Dhamma, Four Noble Truths, and associate many hundreds of monks, just as I am associated today. Then Supreme Buddha explains the king. Now who is that king at that time? Wheel turning monarch. Now there are two persons with great marks. Metteyya Samma Sambuddha and the wheel turning monarch, Sanka. The king Sanka will, Supreme Buddha explains, now there is a, he will find, Supreme Buddha explains, there is a palace. Now this palace today is in the depth of the Ganges river. This king Sanka will re-erect the palace once built by King Mahapanada, and having lived in it, will give it up and present to the ascetics and Brahmins and beggars. Then this wheel-turning monarch, abandoning all the sensual pleasures and everything, shaving off hair and beard, he will be a monk. Go forth from the household life into homelessness under the Supreme Buddha Metteyya. Wheel-turning monarch, even the wheel-turning monarch gives up everything. What about us? Okay. The Supreme Buddha explains, Soeva pabbajito samano, having gone for refuge, gone for forth from home life into homelessness as a monk like this, within short time period, now under Metteyya Supreme Buddha, within short time period, he will be an arahant. Okay? Now think about, listen to the ending, the way of ending this sutta. Supreme Buddha explains again, Attadipa Bhikkhave Virata. So, be an island yourself. Atta Sarana, be your refuge to yourself. Ananya Sarana, you have no other refuge. And Dhammadipo, you must build that island for your protection with the help of Dhamma. Dhamma Sarana, your refuge is Dhamma. Then again Supreme Buddha explains how to build that island. Kaye Kayanupassi Viharati. In this way, by establishing the mindfulness of contemplating the body as body, feeling as feeling, mind as mind, and the mind objects as mind objects. Atapi sampajano satima. In this way, Supreme Buddha explains. Now, Supreme Buddha explains, Gochare bhikkhave charata. Live inside the land of your father. When you live inside the land of your father, what is the land? Four foundations of mindfulness. When you develop the mindfulness of four foundations, ayunapi vardhisate, your lifetime will increase. And your beauty will increase. Your happiness will increase. Your wealth will increase. Your power will increase. What are those things? Can you remember? Supreme Buddha explains, if you practice four foundations of mindfulness, if you live inside the land of your father, your lifespan will increase. Then, to the monks, Supreme Buddha explains, your beauty will increase. Your happiness, are you listening? Okay, good. And your wealth will increase. Your power will increase. How many things? 5 things. Then Supreme Buddha explains, what is the length of life for a monk? Supreme Buddha explains, Chanda Samadhi Padhana Sankara. Now, the Chanda Iddipada, then the Viri Iddipada, Chitta Iddipada, Vimasa Iddipada. The 4 powers of following this path. We discuss those things. So then, if you like, you can live for Kappan. You can live for a full century of the remaining, or the remaining part of a century means 120 years, like that you can live. It is a long lifespan. Today. Then Supreme Buddha explains, what is beauty for a monk? Monks have a beauty. Now, the people think beauty, they must yes, they must build their beauty by taking vitamins and good foods and doing exercises. They think about their beauty. Now this is the beauty for monks. Supreme Text says here a monk practices the precepts. Precepts. So what is the beauty of monks? Precepts. Though a monk takes a lot of vitamins and good healthy foods, if he doesn't follow precepts, he is ugly. That's the meaning. So we can attain beauty by following precepts. So you can attain your and develop your beauty by following what? Precept. Supreme Text explains, seeing danger in the slightest fault, you must practice the precepts. And what is happiness for a monk? This is the happiness. He attains first jhana, second jhana, third jhana and fourth jhana. This is the happiness for a monk. And what is wealth for a monk? This is the wealth for a monk. He lives filling his heart with loving kindness to all beings. This is the wealth. And he lives feeling the thoughts of the altruistic joy, mudita. That means the enjoying seeing others others' skills and those things. Then the thoughts filling with compassion. Then the equanimity. Metta, karuna, mudita, upekha. This is the wealth for a monk. Then what is the last one? Power. Power for a monk. Supreme Text means power is asavana kaya anasama. Eradicating all the pains. The monk enters the liberation by mind and liberation by wisdom, panya vimutti, ceto vimutti, and he has attained in this very life, but by his own supreme knowledge and realization, the arhanship. This is the power of a monk. Then at the end of this sutta, Supreme Text explains very important, we can say like a warning. Okay? Now think about the story about history and then about the decreasing of wholesome things and the increasing of unwholesome things, decreasing of lifespan, all these things, and then again increasing of lifespan, then the appearance of the mid-tier Supreme Buddha, explaining all these things, and then the way to build your own island and make your own refuge, explaining all these things. Now Supreme Buddha explains at the end of this sutta, Nāṁ bhikkhave aññam eka balampi samanupassaṁ evaṁ duppasabhaṁ. Meritorious monks, I do not see any power so hard to conquer. Yataidam bhikkhave marabala, as the power of Mara. By developing the wholesome qualities, this merit increases. Supreme Text explains. Now what is that power? Now Supreme Text explains, I do not see any power so hard to control and conquer as the power of Mara. But by developing wholesome things, you can conquer even the power of Mara. Thus the Supreme Buddha taught, and those monks were delighted and rejoiced at the Blessed One's words. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So what about your plan? Are you thinking to come to this human world again? Now we listen to our realistic future. So this Noble Eightfold Path, may you have the opportunity to follow the Noble Eightfold Path and to live inside the land of our Father Supreme Buddha, to establish the mindfulness regarding 4 foundations of mindfulness. May you realize the 4 noble truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Especially we got the opportunity to learn this Dhamma like this because of compassion of our teacher Loku Swamin Wahanse. Let's share merit with our Loku Swamin Wahanse. May our teacher Loku Swamin Wahanse realize 4 noble truths as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May all Devas realize the 4 noble truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. No. And that is that Dhamma that he, the way that he advised to the other kings. Don't kill. What are those things? 5 precepts. 5 precepts is in the that not the 4 noble truths. Is it clear? Yes, and they haven't the opportunity to. That is why Supreme Buddha explains. But even a wheel-turning monarch, definitely in his next life he will be born among Devas. But he is there as an ordinary person. Supreme Buddha explains he hasn't understood 4 noble truths. And he hasn't attained the Sotapanna, at least Sotapanna fruit. So he lives there with the danger to be born in hell, animal world and ghost world. Anytime he will go there. But Supreme Buddha explains in a far away place, in a corner of village, there lives a very poor but a noble disciple of Supreme Buddha. He has enough money, enough dresses, enough vehicles. And he is a beggar. But he has an unshakable confidence of Supreme Buddha's knowledge. Unshakable confidence of this Dhamma. Unshakable confidence of this Sangha. And he follows the 5 precepts in an unbreakable way. What are these? 4 factors of a Sotapanna. Supreme Buddha explains, he also be born in that same heavenly world with that king wheel-turning monarch. But after the ending of the lifespan of that wheel-turning monarch, he will go to the hell or animal world or ghost world. But this noble disciple, poor noble disciple, now he is not poor, he is a Deva now, with much divine happiness. He will be, after ending of his lifespan there, again he will be born as a Deva or any other Brahma world. He will not go to the lower worlds. He will be born in higher worlds and he will escape from samsara. So what is the good way to think to become a wheel-turning monarch or a noble disciple? Yes. So may you have the opportunity to be a real noble disciple. Sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa niccam vaddha pacayam cattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukham balam ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevaca atho sadhu anumodami. Sadhu anumodita. Kamantantam. Sakino to Sakino. Hamadinatma Tiruvan Saranai.